All right, everyone. Thank y'all for joining us. This is So I Did a Thing. My name's Chris, and I am a remote live stream producer and trainer. And basically, what I do here is just bring cool people on in my network that are doing cool things, and we have cool conversations. So thank y'all for joining us. I'm still getting used to the new layout thing on LinkedIn. It's a whole new layout for the live. So it's kind of throwing me off over here. Also, it looks really bad over here. Do I look like jumpy and twerky and twitchy to y'all? Hey, Wendy Mose, I see you. And Carrie Dobson. How are y'all? Wendy got a new profile picture. Somebody's booing me. Steven Rogers. Hey, Christine. Thank y'all for joining us. All right. So let's see. Let's get the housekeeping stuff out of the way. If y'all want some cool Hit Productions merch or Be Weird merch or the I'm Single Say Hi stuff that you've seen me wear, head on over to hitproductions.live and click the merch button. It'll take you right to the store. If you wanted to go subscribe to my YouTube channel, I sure wouldn't be mad. Hey, Jason McGowan. At Hit Productions Live is the YouTube channel. Y'all can follow me over there. All I ever do is live stream over there too. The same stuff that's here, and the party's here. But I'm thinking about like doing shorts and stuff, like streaming tips, or I don't know yet. It's just one more thing to add to the day, so I don't know yet. Anyway, my guest tonight. Sure, I know what you meant, Stephen. It's fine. I understand. My guest tonight is a women's leadership coach, dropping badassical stuff all over LinkedIn. And I kind of joked around in the promo post and said, don't tell her, but her stuff applies to guys too, but she focuses on women. Anyway, it's really good stuff. Y'all welcome Kelsey Boyer.
Hello.
Hey, and is it Boyer or is it Boyer?
Both works.
Whatever.
Yeah, most people say Boyer. Works for me.
Okay. Okay.
I appreciate you asking, though.
Yeah. I went through a whole show one time, and I'm from Texas, so we say everything messed up here. Anyway, it was Kirsten Granados was my guest, and I went through the whole show calling her Kirsten. And after the
I've
show,
done that with her too.
Yeah, and after the show, she was like, "Hey, it's pronounced Kirsten," and I was like, "Why didn't you tell me that an hour ago?" Like, I literally called you Kirsten for an hour and not Kirsten. She was like, "Well, I just didn't want to not live," and I was like, "Oh, I hate it when I mispronounce people's names."
I've done that with her too. And she's so good about it.
She is. She's the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on, Raul?
Welcome, everyone. Hey, also, when I type in the chat, can you see it or no? Does it only just go to you?
I see it. Yeah, I just
nobody else sees it. Okay.
No, nobody else sees it. Yeah. So Restream's kind of weird. LinkedIn's kind of weird because of the way the chat. Yeah, just a little bit. So like I can type in the chat over here as the host, and it'll go to YouTube, Twitch. If I was on Facebook or anywhere else, it would go there. But because LinkedIn sees this as a bot chat thing, it won't let it go to LinkedIn. It's so crazy.
What?
I've always wondered
her pronunciation.
Yeah, Mose. I've literally been calling her Wendy Mose for like 2 solid years, and this is the first time she said anything.
Nice. Mose. We love that, Wendy. Ooh, Adam, welcome.
Wendy Mose. Hey, Adam K.
Yes, Chris and I were just talking about breath work before we went live.
We were talking about breath work. Yep. Sam Swirsky's in the house. Good to see you. Nice. So how have you been? We could keep going with the comments, the whole thing, but I tend to I get squirreled out on them. So
totally. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were talking to Sam or me that time. So we're talking to me now.
Now we're talking to you. Yeah. How you been? What's been going on?
I've been great. I leave for my bachelorette on Thursday, so it's a short week. Cannot complain. Going to Mexico, getting some sunshine. So very excited for that.
Nice. So that's going to be a big difference. Probably. It's probably still cold up there, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's always cold here. Everyone, I'm in Toronto. Yes,
right.
It is true what they say about Canada always being cold.
Yeah, it is. I don't even know what it translates to in Celsius. It's 75 Fahrenheit here now.
Yeah, I think that's pretty warm. I think that's in the 20s.
It's pretty warm, 75 Fahrenheit to Celsius. Yeah, 24.
Oh, that's so
24.
nice. Okay, so yeah, we're minus 4 degrees Celsius here.
Okay, well, let's see what that is.
Yeah, it's like 20 something Fahrenheit. I think 22.
Celsius to probably 24.8. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Cold, freaking cold.
Yeah. Carrie says that's warm. Where are you, Carrie?
Yeah. Carrie's up north too.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. All right, what are you saying? Laughing at me mispronouncing. Tagel. Dagalia. See, I would have said Tagel too on that one.
Oh yeah.
I would not have gotten that out of that.
No, same.
Oh, she's in Edmonton.
Yes. Edmonton is colder than Toronto. You feel my pain,
Yeah.
Carrie. I love it. How have you been, Chris?
I've been good. I've been busy. Went on a weekend trip, visited some friends.
Nice.
Yeah. Did not want to come back.
Yep.
And it was Monday when I got here today. So woohoo.
Woo. Love it.
Yeah. So you have all kinds of cool things going on. So tell us first, like, what do you do?
Yeah, absolutely.
And why the focus on just women? Like, I get it, but like, just tell us about it.
Yes, I will tell you about it.
Tell us all about it.
So I am a leadership coach for aspiring and new female leaders who are looking to rise through the ranks within their organizations, and also a SOMA certified advanced breathwork facilitator. So I know Adam mentioned doing breathwork with me, so I figure I would mention that. And I help women, not only do I help women rise through the ranks organizationally, but I really think of leadership as so much more than who you are at work. And it really is you elevating yourself in your own light and potential to inspire and empower others to want to do the same. And so in my mentorship programs and workshops that I run, it really is about that all encompassing person that you are, not just who you are at work. So you can show up as your best self at work.
Mm-hmm.
And I focus on women for a couple different reasons. So Sandra, hi. I'm going to be in Puerto Vallarta. So so my focus on women comes from a couple different places. I think in my own experience professionally, I was a leader in the tech recruitment industry, and I was always the only woman at the table and did as much as I could to build women up, but recognized that this was a very common trend, and going to client meetings as the partner of the organization and everyone thinking I was the assistant, and just a lot of the challenges that women have to face to get a seat at the table and keep it and be able to be their authentic self instead of thinking that. And I know I went through a phase where I thought I had to be, for lack of a better term, the office bitch, because I was like, well, I have to be the devil's advocate. I have to challenge people. That's the only way I'm going to get up to the top. And realizing that actually wasn't the case and I could be my authentic self. And so that was a big part of it. And then also just the stats, even as of 2022 in Canada, I mean, still only 15% of CEO positions are held by women, 20 to 25% in VP positions. And there are still, to the top 500 companies across North America, there are still 56% that don't have any women on their boards. So women are still very much underrepresented, and I'm here to change that.
Nice. I love it. Absolutely love it. One thing that has stuck out to me too about you is like you 100% let your content speak for itself. Like you don't try to game the algorithm by posting a lot of selfies showing skin and all this other stuff that some people do, trying to, get likes and views and comments and all that kind of stuff. So immediately that was like one of the main things that, I'm not saying all women do that. Y'all don't come for me. Like, that's not what I'm saying, but we all know that a lot of women do. And you are like straight up business. It's either going to be because of my content of why you like me, or it's not.
Exactly.
And I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's definitely something that's been a big value of mine since I started showing up online. So
yeah,
me. And also I'm absolutely terrible at taking selfies. Like I'm just going to let everybody in on that secret. I am awful. I take a selfie and my one eye is up here and I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do that again.
Exactly.
So now that I've said that, I'm going to have to post a terrible selfie of something.
Exactly. Yeah, Stephen, go buy some tank tops, bro.
Yeah, go buy some tank tops, post some selfies. Golden. And yes, I love that, Sandra. Women's healthcare is important. That's the reason why you support women too. Hell yeah.
Yep, for sure. So tell us, like, how do you tell us about your programs? Tell us about, how women can work with you and all the good things. Because I want to know a little bit more. Like you talk a lot about it. Your content is amazing. And like I said, like I learn a lot every time I read something. But tell us how kind of your system, or not your, without giving away the whole thing, but like how do you start and then kind of where do you go?
Yeah. So specifically for I'm going to call it 3.5 to 4 month mentorship program that is one-on-one and group focused for women leaders or aspiring women leaders. We work through 3 phases and there are kind of 5 steps within those phases. So I'll go through the 5 steps just because to give more detail. I don't mind sharing it. It's on my website anyway.
Right.
So the first thing that we do is really focusing. I call the step reprogramming your mind for success and fulfillment. And I include fulfillment in there intentionally because it isn't just about being successful. And so what we're really doing there is figuring out like why we are the way that we are, learning about our conditioning and being able to reprogram that and shift that and come up with our own definition of success and shifting any limiting beliefs that women have been carrying with them for their entire lives. And so really priming them before we even get into the tactical skills stuff. And then that shifts very much into the second step, which is very focused on energy and how we manage our energy and because a lot of the time women who come to me are very burnt out or on the verge of burnout, so coming up with a system on how we can shift that and taking inventory of how energy is spent. And of course there's a lot more to all of this, but again giving a very quick summary. And then step 3, that's when we get into the really tactical kind of leadership focused stuff like communication, decision making, performance reviews, interviewing, all of that stuff. It really, and even though these are 5 steps that we work through, this is very much focused, very much customized to each individual. So if someone is really strong in one area, then we focus on something else. And so it really gives a lot of flexibility for that. And then once they've really done all the work on themselves to get themselves to a place of embracing, again, that leader who is elevating themselves in their own lighted potential, we're bringing it all together to develop a long-term compelling vision and goals that we're coming up with the game plan in alignment with. So they're taking tangible action and steps towards those goals and that vision. And then kind of tying it all together, because a lot of the times we come up with this really incredible future for ourselves, but we think that it's just in our imagination and it's never going to happen. So being able to go back and revisit any blocks that are coming up so they really can embody their worth and come to a point of really, I mean, my goal with a lot of these women is for them to get to the end of that program and not need me anymore. And if they would like to continue working with me, I have a lot of women who do that, but I see a lot in the coaching industry, like people create this program, but then they create a supplemental program, like almost like you don't get everything that you need out of that first program because someone wants to keep profiting off of you. And that is just not my goal. I want everyone to get to the end and be like, I got this. Like Kelsey gave me everything I needed. And if I still feel like someone needs to hold my hand for a little bit longer, then fine, I'll keep working with her. But it's not because I need her. It's because I want her.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up because that's what I was fixing to ask is you don't see too many coaches that only have like a 4-month program and then that's it. Most of the time it's some really long term. They might have like a 1 year one-on-one or whatever, and then after that, it's if you want to keep going, you can or whatever. So that's kind of cool. That's cool the way that you do that. Hey, Lisa Marie.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, people still want to continue working with me, and what
Yeah.
I do in the midst of it, I mean, companies now, especially with breath work, I mean, companies now bring me in pretty frequently to lead breath work on employee wellness days, or companies, because I not only do I have clients individually, I have corporate clients that put women through my 4-month program every single round, and then they bring me in to run some sort of team building or personal or
Mm-hmm.
professional development workshop. So I was actually just talking about this earlier today. I'm definitely the kind of entrepreneur who likes to have various things that I do. I get
Mm-hmm.
bored if I'm doing the same thing. So
Mm-hmm.
in tandem with the coaching, which I'm always innovating and shifting, there's the workshop, there's the breath works, there's the speaking engagements, and coming up with even in-house performance coaching for my favorite clients or favorite corporate clients that I know that
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy working with. So it's a lot of fun.
So whenever you're doing like the workshops for your corporate clients,
Yeah.
are there men in those too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. So, yes, there are men in those workshops. And for one of my clients, I even came up with kind of an in house performance coaching plan that would incorporate the men too. So, again, because I had a really great experience with them and I could see myself working with them and everybody in the organization, that'll be a rare case where I offer that. But overall, my core focus is women.
And I think that's good, because if you're going to do corporate training like that with an emphasis on female leaders, then you kind of have to let the guys know what's up too. You know what I mean?
Well,
How it
exactly.
should be. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, no need to neglect them. They
Yeah.
deserve it too.
Yeah, they deserve it too. But I mean, so they know that, look, guys, like, it's time that the females get some of this,
Yeah, yeah, and
and
it's
not that there's
also
going to
like
be
educating them.
right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly like you were saying, like educating them on how they can create a more inclusive and safe space for the women
Mm-hmm.
internally. And both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all can learn how to create a more safe and
Mm-hmm.
inclusive space for the people that we work with.
Exactly. For
Yeah.
sure. So tell us about breath work. Like, it intrigues me
Ugh.
a little bit. I don't know if it's enough for me to want to start doing it, but I'm really intrigued
Oh my
by it.
God, Chris, I'm sending you a link to just do it with me and I'm gonna force you into it. You don't have a choice anymore. You brought me on your show, like you have to do breath
Uh-oh.
work with me now.
Okay.
Okay, so breath work. So I think there's a misconception that breath work and meditation are the same thing, and they are not. Meditation, you are whatever, you're closing your eyes and you're focusing on your breath, but a lot of people really struggle with meditation because well, because you go off in different thought patterns and you're sitting in a 10-minute meditation, but all you've been thinking about is like the 8 million things that you have to do because
Yes.
you're it's not very
Yes.
conscious.
Right.
It's just
Exactly.
like focus on your breath. Okay, but what does that mean? And
Yeah.
so that's the difference with breath work. Breath work is very intentional in that way. And there's a lot more instruction and prompt and conscious breathing. So in meditation,
Okay.
yeah, you're breathing in and out through your nose, and maybe there are a couple different breathing patterns that they throw in, but usually it's just like, okay, in and out through your nose, focus on this, release this. Whereas breath work is like, okay, so the goal here is to very similar to, and I'm going to actually put a pin in that for a second and explain why we do
Okay.
breath work and why it's so important.
Okay.
Can you tell I'm really excited and passionate about it?
Yes. Yes. I'm the same way. When I talk about something I'm really excited about,
Yeah.
I do a lot of, and it's terrible, but I do a lot of, hang on, let me back up a minute.
Yeah.
Hang
My
on.
brain moves
Let me
faster
back.
than.
Yeah, yes.
So I'm going to put a pin in that and come back to that. But
Okay.
really, why we do breath work and why it's so beneficial for us is because it is a modality similar to, so a lot of the times, like when we are dealing with, when we've experienced trauma in our life, or we're dealing with stress or overwhelm or anxiety and all of these things, we hold those emotions as energy in our body. And
Mhm.
that's why a lot of people exercise a lot and do yoga and do movement, because we need a way to move that energy out of our body. And that energy is stuck there. And it shows up as when we get stressed, the shoulders are up at our ears, or tightness in our chest. And all could also a lot of the time shows up as sleeping issues, like severe illnesses, pain, weight fluctuations, and all of these things are signs that we are holding trauma or stress or any of those emotions inside of our body. And so breath work is one of the modalities to move that energy around and release it. And so this is why, and really what we're doing in breath work, because we're consciously focusing on different breathing patterns, is allowing that energy to move around and be released. And how we do that is and so there are different breathing patterns for so many different things, like breathing patterns for anger, for anxiety, for calmness, and all of these things. But a lot of the workshops that I lead people through are focused on really simply just breathing in a rhythm, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And after we do that, holding your breath for an extended period of time, which one area, in one of the breath holds, when you hold your breath, what you're doing is allowing oxygen to travel to different parts of your body and essentially get rid of what it doesn't need. And then in the other breath hold, you're bringing energy up to your brain and stimulating your pineal gland and stimulating your creativity and creative potential. So there's a shit ton of science behind it. And there's so much more I could say, but that is essentially why we do breath work and why it is so beneficial. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it does.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Just for everybody that's wondering too, shit ton is a real scientific measurement. It is in Texas anyway.
Is it really? Everything. I love that.
No, yeah, no, I mean,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us what you do. You're doing some pretty cool stuff in the breathwork space too. Like not just, you're doing workshops, corporate stuff, like you're doing the same things, the same spaces you're doing your coaching and you're doing the breathwork in, right? Basically.
Yep. So the women that go through my 3.5 to 4 month program, they also get exposure to one-on-one breath work with me in the monthly community sessions that I run. And so the monthly community sessions that I run are all virtual and anybody can join, men or women. And now, since breath work is becoming more mainstream in North America, now I'm getting corporations that are doing wellness days that are bringing me in to do breath work. Or I know I was telling you before we went live, someone that was planning a bachelorette weekend party and asked if I could come to cottage country and run breath work for them. So it really is starting to become more mainstream here, which is also something that I find really fascinating, because even though breath work is really trendy right now, it is not new. It is like the yogis invented breath work, or even before breath work was invented. It has been around for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
And one more thing I wanted to mention about it, because I know people love hearing this, but so breath work came from a place, and so I'm certified through Soma, and the legend of Soma is essentially, let's call it the caveman days. They found this plant that was kind of like a magic mushroom psychedelic plant that called the Soma. They were eating the Soma to open up new neural pathways because it showed them the different ways for them to survive. And then all of a sudden the Soma ran out. So they're like, how can we recreate this? And that was where breath work was born from. Whether that story is completely true, I don't know. But I will say that every single person that I've led breath work for, if they come out of it and they're like, is this what it feels like to feel high in psychedelics? Like, I feel high. So it is very fascinating.
I was fixing to ask you, so like, do you trip out whenever you do breath work, or is it just like all the endorphins and stuff firing how it's supposed to makes your body feel different? Or like, do you actually hallucinate and trip?
You do see things, not always. Really? But while the eyes are closed, typically the people who do breath work with me see orbs that are different colors, and each color is related to your chakra system. And so chakras are basically energy centers in your body. But I would say it's more of a body reaction. Actually, I'll talk about the vision too, but the body reaction, what's most common is feeling tingly in your fingers or your hands or in your toes, and Sometimes I know when I first started doing breath work, I'd get numbness around my mouth and lips, and I wouldn't really be able to open my mouth very much. Um,
Mm.
Sometimes it's full body tingles. It feels like your body's vibrating, and it's because this energy is moving around pretty aggressively. And so, yeah, it's and in terms of the visuals, if it's not the colorful orbs, a lot of times, like I guide people through a visualization experience. So I'm prompting them on something to visualize, and usually it's pretty it's very vivid for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But unlike mushrooms or whatever psychedelics, you don't stay that way for hours.
Right.
It's like
Right.
10 minutes after, 10, 20 minutes, 15 minutes after, and then you're back to normal.
Okay. So it's not hours later you're begging for the ride the
Yeah.
ride to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not
Okay.
like wanting to go outside and pet some trees after, I promise.
That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I love it. So when people graduate your program and you said some of them want to do one-on-one coaching,
Yeah.
um, what does that look like? Is it like a weekly thing, or do they kind of set the pace on it?
Yeah, it's completely flexible. And so
Okay.
the after they finish my program is a mix of one-on-one and group. So it's like one
Okay.
one-on-one, one group, one one-on-one group. And then so when they finish with me, if they would like more one-on-one, it can be whatever they would like it to be. So whether it be weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. And then for the people who really appreciate the group element, I run quarterly alumni masterminds, and
Mm-hmm.
usually get a consensus on some topics that people would like to dive deeper into. And it gives them an opportunity to continue to form community with the women who've been through the program. And so I've got a
Mm-hmm.
special alumni group where we celebrate wins every single week. And really, I mean, my goal is to continue just building this community of women who have each other to support each other so they don't ever feel alone again.
Mm-hmm. I love
Yeah.
it. And I just recently did my first ever group course, and I like the
Ooh,
group dynamic. Yeah, I like the
it's
group dynamic.
amazing.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um,
What course did you do?
I just did like a live stream boot camp to train people how to live stream.
Cool. Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and it was
Nice.
like it was really cool. You know, it was my first one, so I learned a lot of stuff from it. But just having there was 8 people there. Well, it was really weird. 8 people signed up. 2 of them never even came. They just wanted the recording, so that was
Yeah.
fine. So I had 6 people there.
Yeah.
But just getting different points of view and different people asking questions, and they're kind of feeding off of each other, and we're cutting up and laughing, and still got stuff done. And it was just the group dynamic's really
Nice.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And it's like you come in so prepared to lead them through so much because you're preparing for the worst and preparing for them not to talk at all. But then usually
Right.
people who join a group program are very much ready to share with each other and support each other.
Right.
So it's like, oh, I prepared all this work and now I get to take a step back.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you on that.
So I did learn, like I tried to cram too much into 6 weeks.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
do that when you first started doing group stuff? I'm
Oh,
like,
hell yeah.
okay, we're going to do this and we're going to cover this and it's going to be good. And then it was, but then it was a lot for them to take in. And I was like, okay, let's revamp this a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Every time I run a 2-hour workshop, no matter how many times I've run these workshops, there's always there. I'd rather have more than less, though. I don't know if you feel the
Yeah.
same way,
No,
but
I would too. Yeah.
yeah, I'd rather just have that. And even if we don't get to it, then I'll send it in a little mini training or something.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. So where all are you? Are you just on LinkedIn? I didn't even ask you this beforehand.
No, that's okay. So yes, I was on Instagram and TikTok. I have since deleted Instagram and I'm putting my focus on LinkedIn. TikTok I'll still use to make videos, but the majority of my focus is on LinkedIn. I've got a great community there and people are just so wonderful.
They really are. The people
Yeah.
here are amazing. That's one of the things I've loved about it. I've made some really amazing friends.
Right?
People that I talk to offline every day, all day, whether it's
Right?
text or Slack or whatever. Um, yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. And you tell people that don't know about LinkedIn that you're on LinkedIn, and they just look at you.
I know.
Huh?
I
Like,
know.
all
They're
right.
like, "Oh, really? Are you sure about that?"
Yeah, I know.
Oh, good
Rob
question,
had a
Robert.
question. Yeah, that is a good
Yeah.
question.
So I started my business on Instagram and then I migrated over to LinkedIn. I just found that Instagram is becoming a much more toxic place for many reasons. I think the biggest thing I notice on Instagram is there are a lot of bots on there. And so on LinkedIn, it's very easy to send someone a message and just like wanting to have a conversation with them. And like, how are you? How's your day going? How's your week going? But as soon as you send a message like that on Instagram, people think you're spamming them and trying to sell them immediately because that's all people are doing on Instagram in the DMs right now. And I just found that it started to become really ineffective. Um, Outside of that, I just found that I really pride myself on creating a safe space for women to be when on my social media, and Instagram wasn't really creating that same kind of safe space for me. I had a couple impersonators, a lot of online bullying, which I expect, kind of being a face and whatever you want to
Mm-hmm.
call it. If you want to call it an influencer, I get it on LinkedIn too, but it was so on LinkedIn, it's very much like people not agreeing with my content or something that I've said, whereas Instagram is just attacking who I was as who I am
Mm-hmm.
as a person, which it's fine, but at the end of the day, that's not a safe space for me. So yeah, I think that was more of a lesser reason. It was really just I wasn't getting the same kind of traction, and when I was getting leads, they just weren't quality leads. And
Mm-hmm.
so TikTok, I'm still playing around with, and I'll still utilize it, but I just love LinkedIn. The community's so supportive.
Yeah, I'm not on either one of them, but it to me it seems like, especially somebody that's focused on women, that Instagram is not the place for it because it so hypersexualizes and that whole aspect of influencers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it really does. And so that's the thing. I mean, LinkedIn, even if women are posting pictures, whatever, showing legs or cleavage or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is, it's a little more tasteful.
Yeah,
And
there's not
Instagram.
right. Instagram
Insta-
Instagram is almost R rated,
yeah, Instagram is almost R rated, and I
if
never
not
really
R
fit in
rated.
with that.
Yeah, right. No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I've always been someone when I'm posting a photo of myself, I'm like, what would my dad be disappointed by this?
Yeah.
Like, I know that's not like everybody's opinion, and I respect that. I know that a lot of women who post those pictures are very much expressing themselves because they're a creative or they're an artist. And honestly, I can fully appreciate that. It just doesn't
Mm-hmm.
resonate with me.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I follow a woman, what is her name? I don't remember. She fishes and I follow her on LinkedIn. That's why I follow her.
We know
Because
you
she's
love
fishing.
fishing.
Yeah, y'all know I love fishing. But she's also tattooed and she does like some modeling for some outdoor gear. But she
Yeah.
said her rule is if she wouldn't show the picture to her dad, it doesn't get printed anywhere. So you may see some pictures of her back with nothing on, with her tattoos or whatever,
Yeah.
but you won't see anything ever. No cleavage, no like nothing. So like that's kind of it's funny you said that because he said that is her guide. If I can't
Yeah.
show it to dad, it's not going in print anywhere.
Always. Always. Yeah. It's like I know. I think like us daddy's girls have always grown up being like, I want to make my dad happy. And then as I've got older, it's less about that. It's just like, can I show it to you or will you be offended? And if you
Right.
would be like if you're offended looking at this photo of me, I shouldn't be posting it.
Right. Exactly.
You wouldn't want to if you wouldn't want your like anyone else posting a photo like that. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
For
glad that
real.
her and I feel the same.
Yeah. And like I said, that was one of the things that stuck it about you from the beginning is like, and you can call me old fashioned or call it whatever, but I think there's more to women than just their bodies. I mean, I'm a guy, I like looking at them, but at the same time, I don't feel like you have to use that to sell whatever it is you're selling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It works. It does work.
big ups.
I
It
know it
does
works.
work.
It
Yeah.
sure is, yeah, but yeah, it's not me.
Yeah, but just because you have 120,000 followers that are following you and they're all dropping roses in your comments, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to convert to leads either, though.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
exactly. The comment section is hilarious.
It is like they're
What is
over there
happening here?
partying. Yeah, they're over there partying. Yeah, values and principles over everything. A lot of dads are disappointed looking at Instagram. I agree.
I don't even show my nose. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Oh, Kitty D. Instaham. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, jealousy over their own family. So you have, hey, Krista Brenner, another Canadian in the house.
Krista. Love it. Love it.
Yep. So what else we want to talk about? We got like 7-ish, 8 minutes to kill. Yeah, 5 minutes.
What did
you had something new coming up. A masterclass.
Oh, yes.
You're still hashing out all the details, but kind of give us a teaser on that.
Yeah, so I am going to be, I've run this once before and it was, it had a great response. So I'm running it again. I'm running a communication and stress management masterclass. It's about an hour long and I'm going to be running it probably sometime in April. And for those of you who've been here for the breathwork conversation, the masterclass ends with some breathwork, so you get to experience it. And so that'll be some point in April. And then the next round of Women's Leadership Accelerator, my 3.5 to 4 month program, is starting mid-May at some point, still picking a date for that. So a couple things coming up. And then I do monthly breathwork sessions, although February I didn't get a chance to do one because I leave for my bachelorette on Thursday and things have been wild with wedding planning. But next month I'm back.
Well, that's going to be a fun trip. Sometimes I can't catch my breath either, Robert, but I'm gonna attribute that to the fact that
you don't do breath work.
I don't do breath work. Yeah, and I hadn't gone to the gym in years, so I'm like, I see what you did there. Touche.
I couldn't help myself. Sorry to cut you off.
I set myself up for that one for sure.
Yeah, you really did. Well done.
So you have a website? I meant to ask you beforehand so I could put it on the screen, but I will put it right here in the comments.
Yeah, I'll send it to you in the comments so then you can send it. WLA.coach.
Oh, I love it. It's short and sweet.
Oh,
and very easy
it.
to remember.
Oh, yeah. Let's be
exactly,
friends.
Krista.
Breathwork might be why I run out of breath walking up the stairs.
Exactly.
No, it increases your tolerance.
No, she said no breath work.
Oh, no breath work.
Might be why I run out of breath walking up the stairs.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. Now I understand. Totally. Mm-hmm. I know I talked a lot about breath work. One more thing I'll mention is the proper way to breathe is in and out through your nose. In breath work, a lot of the times we do in through the nose, out through the mouth, or the like in and out through the mouth, but that's very much to create a reaction and to get energy out of your body. But the proper way to breathe is in and out through the nose. People ask me that all the time, so I figured I'd share that while we're talking about breath work.
I can't stand to breathe out of my mouth at all.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good.
Like, I mean, whenever I fall asleep, sometimes I do, especially if I fall asleep on my back. But I breathe through my nose. I cannot stand to breathe in and out of my mouth.
That's good. It's very good for your nervous system.
Is it?
Oh yes, it's very good for your nervous system.
Rob, I don't mean to cut you off, but like, how do you run out of breath taking the elevator, Rob? Like, that's what I want.
Because he hasn't been to the gym in however many months like you.
right, exactly. So what does it do for the nervous system real quick?
Yeah. So our entire overall nervous system is the autonomic nervous system. And then two subsets of the autonomic nervous system are the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. And so the sympathetic nervous system is the nervous system that is triggered when you are in fight or flight mode. So even though we are no longer in experiences where we are in fight or flight because we're going to die, our body still reacts that way to stressful experiences. And so the other subset of your nervous system is the parasympathetic. And the parasympathetic brings you back to a calm and centered state and brings you back to homeostasis. And so breathing in and out through your nose and various other forms of breath work brings you back into the parasympathetic. So you're not being triggered by that fight or flight response.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Thank you.
Well, this has been fun. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about breath work. I already knew about what you did, but I learned a lot about breath work, which was really interesting. And I did not know though that you did stuff for guys like in your workshops and stuff. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and breath work too. Everybody's welcome to breath work. So everyone, give me a follow, and I'll let you know when my next community breathwork event is. And since we've talked about breathwork for half of this, maybe you're interested, or maybe you're tired of hearing about it. Maybe you're like, all right, Kelsey, are you done yet?
Oh my gosh, she's still talking about breathwork. I'm just kidding. No, it was really interesting. It was. I enjoyed it. Y'all go check Kelsey out, WLA.coach. Give her a follow on LinkedIn. Let me tag her right here where you can just click on her name.
Perfect.
Kelsey Boye. Click on it, go give her a follow. And yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me past your bedtime. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me past my bedtime. This was so energizing. I'm going to have to do some breath work to calm myself down and go to
bed. Of course you are.
And then I'm going to DM you with a link to book breathwork with me.
Okay.
Immediately. You have no choice.
Okay. From your mouth to everybody watching, they're going to be asking me about that now. Next week, they're going to be like, so did you book a breathwork session?
Yeah, I know. We're all holding you accountable. Got to do it now. Everyone's watching. So much fun. Thank you so much for having me.
You bet you. Thanks for coming on. Next week, I have, who do I have? Stephanie Couch.
Nice.
Yes. She'll be on. And then, y'all, I've announced it maybe once or twice. I don't remember. After March, I'm going to pull. So I did a thing for a little bit. I'm going to bring Ending the Stigma back for at least a quarter or two. It's been a while since I've done that.
That'll be good.
It will be good. I've missed it. I've had a lot of people asking me about it. My network has grown since then to include some new people that are in like the justice involved space. So I want to get them on the show and share their story. So I'm really looking forward to bringing that one back. I say all the time, I do this one for fun. Like I enjoy it. You know, I love hanging out with people on LinkedIn, but the Ending the Stigma is like where my passion is. So, and that's the one that has the hard hitting stories and, things that make you go, wow. So
yeah,
I'm really looking forward to bringing that one back.
Oh, that's super exciting. Can't wait to watch.
Yep. All right, y'all have a good night. Kelsey, go do some breath work so you can go to sleep. We will see y'all next week.
Have a good one, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.